You still see risk coming from US.
Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger kept saying crypto is dangerous. There is too much volume happening in derivatives market. For a real market rally, what we require is Fed has to cut rates.
You are bullish on power and telecom as a space.
There you look at Vizag belt, Kakinada belt, entire belt. Where do you see?
Hello friends, welcome to Money Purse. Let's learn something new today. మీలో చాలా మంది కంటిన్యూస్గా S.Naren సార్ మళ్ళీ తీసుకురండి అని చెప్పి రిక్వెస్ట్ చేస్తున్నారు కదా. సో నేను సార్ని రిక్వెస్ట్ చేశాను. లక్కీలీ ఆయన హైదరాబాద్ విజిట్ చేస్తున్నారని తెలిసింది. సో టైం అడిగితే మనకు ఒక షార్ట్ టైం అయితే ఇచ్చారు. నేను ఆల్రెడీ ఇంటర్వ్యూ చేశాను. ఇంటర్వ్యూలోని చాలా మంచి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ అయితే షేర్ చేశారు. యూఎస్ మార్కెట్స్ రిలేటెడ్ ఇప్పుడు ఏదైతే క్రైసిస్ నడుస్తుందో ఈ క్రైసిస్ ఎన్నాళ్ళు నడవచ్చు అండ్ కరెంట్లీ యూఎస్ మార్కెట్లోని ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ ఆపర్చునిటీ మీద ఆయన వ్యూ ఎలా ఉన్నది అండ్ ప్రజెంట్ మార్కెట్ ఏదైతే పడిందో ఈ పడిన మార్కెట్లోని ఆయన ఎటువంటి స్టాక్స్ మీద బుల్లిష్గా ఉన్నారు అండ్ అలాగే యంగ్ ఇన్వెస్టర్స్ ఎవరైతే ఉంటారో వాళ్ళు ఫాలో అవ్వాల్సిన మ్యాండేట్ రూల్స్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో వాటి గురించి ఆయన షేర్ చేశారు. దీంతోపాటు ఆయన రీసెంట్ టైంలో ఫాలో అవుతున్న బ్లాగ్స్ రిలేటెడ్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ కూడా షేర్ చేశారు. సో వీడియోని చివరి వరకు చూడండి, మీకు కంప్లీట్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ అయితే దొరుకుతుంది అండ్ అలాగే ఇలాంటి మార్కెట్లో ఉన్న బెస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ది బెస్ట్ పీపుల్ని మీ ముందు తీసుకురావడానికి మన టీం ఏదైతే ఎఫర్ట్ పెడుతుందో అది నచ్చినట్టయితే మేము అడిగేది ఒకటి లైక్ మాత్రమే. సో వీడియోని తప్పకుండా లైక్ చేయడానికి ప్రయత్నించండి అండ్ అలాగే మీ ఫ్రెండ్స్ అండ్ ఫ్యామిలీ మెంబర్స్ కూడా ఇలాంటి వాలటైల్ మార్కెట్లోని ఇలాంటి వీడియో షేర్ చేసినట్టయితే వాళ్ళకి హెల్ప్ఫుల్ అవుతుంది కాబట్టి వాళ్ళకి తప్పకుండా షేర్ చేయడానికి ప్రయత్నించండి. చివరిలో ఒక సర్ప్రైజింగ్ కంటెంట్ కూడా ఉన్నది ఆయన షేర్ చేసింది, సో మిస్ అవ్వకండి. లెట్స్ స్టార్ట్ ద వీడియో. హాయ్ సార్, ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ థ్యాంక్స్ అలాట్ ఫర్ గివింగ్ us this opportunity in short notice. In our last interaction, sir, I'll start from the last interaction. You said you see all the risk coming from US. Now with the SVB failing and there are a lot of negative news which is coming from US. Do you see that US negativity is getting over or you still see risk coming from US?
See, in the very short run, that is next 3 months to 6 months, there can be negative coming from US. But if I take a 3-year view, US is a very, very good economy. So US will bounce back.
Okay.
But if I take short run, I don't know. Anything can go wrong also in US in the next 6 months to 1 year. But long run, things will recover. When we spoke last, US was in...
it's almost 2 years, sir.
Very high.
Yes.
Now I'm saying near term is worrying, long term is good.
Okay.
That is the kind of situation we are as far as US is concerned.
So somewhat risk has already played out to some extent.
Part of the risk has played out. See, this is like, you know, if you go and ask people in April 2020, what is the situation as far as India is concerned? COVID was there. Near term was a problem. Even from April to August 2020, things didn't improve. That is the kind of situation we are in US today, which means that near term there can be problem. But long term, the US will recover.
Sir, how about the Europe conditions? Now, yesterday we heard about Credit Suisse issue. So, do you see any risk coming for us from Europe side?
Europe also is the same thing, but long term, Europe is not a great destination. In US has always been an innovative destination. You see innovation.
Yes. Sir,
so that is why Europe is not an innovation destination. All the innovation has... See, you need innovation for stock market returns. That innovation has always come out of US. So that is why we believe that it is... we think that the returns will come much better in US in the long run.
Okay.
In the near term, Europe is also a problem, but upside potential in US is much better if you take a long period of time in US. Near term, both are confusing.
How about our Indian markets now, sir? Do you see risk in India or outside risk coming to India?
See, in India, what I worry about is in the last 2 years, except last 2 months, everyone thought equity is riskless. So I used to tell people equity has risk. So what can you do to avoid risk? Invest in debt, mutual funds, do systematic investment plan, follow asset allocation. These are the things we used to tell. And whenever I used to tell them equity has a risk, people would say, what is this risk you're talking about? There is nothing called risk in equity. So now slowly people are realizing that there is something called equity risk. So that is the problem, that for somewhere, you know, people thought there is nothing called equity risk. And you know, someone like me and our company, we have all seen equity risk. We have seen 2008. We have seen 2000, 2001 as a company. So all these kind of things, no, where equity risk has played out, we have seen it. So somehow we were always worried. So, when we used to tell people do asset allocation, do SIP, invest in debt, people almost used to laugh at us. But now I think as we speak, people are agreeing that there is risk in equity, and that is good. The moment people realize there is a risk, no, I'm happier. When people did not recognize the risk, I was more worried.
Sir, now there must be a lot of young viewers who are watching. They want to construct their portfolio now. In current situation, after this market fall, do you recommend them to go lump sum mode or a SIP mode investment?
If you ask me, if you are doing equity fund, you do SIP mode, because if you ask me, equity fund is very suitable for SIP mode. Because equity is a more volatile asset class. On the other hand, if you are doing debt or if you are doing products like balanced advantage or multi-asset, you do lump sum, because those products itself are not invested in only one asset class. So I would say you do SIP in equity, and in other products you do lump sum. That is how we see it at this point of time, and that is what we tell people, because I think it is only equity which is a volatile asset class with very good long term. The other asset classes are slightly less volatile, and that is how we think at this point of time.
Okay, sir, how about the commodity market like gold? In current scenario, investing in gold, what do you see?
See, that is where multi-asset is something. If you look at our outlook for the year in 2023, what we did was we told people do multi-asset.
Okay.
In multi-asset, what happens is you are invested in gold. Take the last 4 days or last 10 days. What happened? What is the asset class which went up? Gold and silver. So what happens is gold and silver doesn't work like equity. When there is a crisis, gold and silver goes up. When things are normal, gold and silver falls. So gold and silver works much better in a multi-asset kind of product, because when equity goes down, gold and silver goes up. When equity starts shooting up, gold and silver come down. So best is to buy in a multi-asset construct, because in a multi-asset construct, gold and silver gives defense to a portfolio. But when equity is doing very well, I don't think gold and silver will do well. Okay. Should you invest individually in gold and silver? I have my doubt, because if you invest only in gold and silver, what happens is there are periods of time when it does not perform. You can invest, like in October 2022, we told people invest in silver. Suddenly it went up 25% silver. So are you the kind of person who will invest when silver goes down 10-15%? Are you the kind of person who will invest in gold when it goes down 10-15%? If you are that kind of person, gold and silver is fantastic. What you do, wait for gold and silver to fall 10%. Whenever it falls 10%, invest. If it falls another 5%, invest more. Whenever it goes up substantially, like today, sell. Otherwise, invest through a multi-asset construct. That is what we tell people.
Sir, when it comes to Indian markets, now there is a lot of things happening like China +1, Euro +1, all this noise which you are listening. Do you see any structural changes happening, and do you see any sectors where actually looking really good for long term?
See, China +1, Europe +1 is all there. But the real +1 is services +1. So you look at Hyderabad. In Hyderabad, you think how many back offices have come. Microsoft as an office, Amazon as an office. Which foreign company does not have an office in Hyderabad? I think you'll count.
Yes.
So people keep on saying China +1, Europe +1. But what is actually there is services. If you look at entire Hyderabad, go back 40 years back. I have come to Hyderabad in my childhood, and I have come just after I started working in 1989. The Hyderabad I knew in 1989, the Hyderabad I see in 2023, totally different.
Yes.
Why? Because of services. How many organizations are there in Hyderabad? Now Indian School of Business is there in Hyderabad.
Yes.
So what happens is, it is forget China +1, Europe +1. India is the services capital of the world.
Okay.
And due to that, jobs get created.
Okay.
And those jobs, we provide very, very cheap services to the entire world.
Okay.
And that we should not forget.
Okay.
China plus one and Europe plus one will happen, but they will happen very slowly because to replace China is very difficult.
True.
To replace Europe is difficult, but India cannot be replaced in services.
Industries which are working as ancillaries to service plus one will benefit a lot.
Yes, yes, absolutely. You need to only go to Gachibowli to understand this.
Sir, how about the manufacturing part? You see, there is a traction picking up there.
Traction is picking up. Like I told you, services traction is great.
Okay.
Manufacturing traction is happening. Where traction is happening, you go to, if you look at Andhra, you look at Pharma, the entire, you look at Vizag belt, Kakinada belt, entire belt, where do you see Pharma traction? So there are areas, Pharma traction is phenomenal in the whole of Telangana and Andhra. So I would say that, you know, you look at it, there are areas like Pharma, chemicals, these kind of areas, traction is very good.
Okay.
There are areas like, you know, auto, where again traction is good. But across the board, to replace China in a short span is very difficult.
Okay.
Like it is impossible to replace India in services. It is not easy to replace China in manufacturing overnight. Government is doing everything, but still it is tough.
Sir, in our last interaction, you said you are bullish on power and telecom as a space. So you're still bullish on this space?
We are bullish, but you should see the outperformance of power and telecom now vis-a-vis what it was then. You should see that they have done very, very well.
True.
They continue to be very good for the next 1 year, 2 year.
Okay.
But after that, we'll have to look at which other sector. Because if you look at it, power demand is going up every month, and power will go, now people are asking how to handle the short supply. In telecom today is a consolidated industry,
Yes.
and pricing will go up in the next 2 years. So 5G has also come. So both these sectors look very good for the next 12 to 24 months.
Okay.
But after 12 to 24 months, we'll have to see what will happen, because somewhere we think that that cycle will peak.
True.
In 2 years' time. That is what we think.
So which all sectors you see value now, sir, after this correction?
See, basically what we think is the correction is not yet that big. How much has the market fallen? Go look 1 year return, plus 3%. It is not minus. Go and look at Taiwan. It is minus 15%. Go and look at US. It is minus. So what has happened is market has not corrected. Market has been static. But what we think is capital goods industries are normally in better shape, and consumption, discretionary consumption, those kind of industries are in worse shape. That is what we can see clearly. Banks are in good shape. But the problem in banks is everyone owns it. If you look at every portfolio, the problem is banking is not that the outlook is bad. The problem is all of us own it.
True.
So if we get redemption, we are forced to sell it.
Yes.
If everyone gives us money, we'll buy it. But people have to give us money to buy it. What foreigner is doing, I've got $100 billion of banks or whatever. So whenever they get redemption, they are forced to sell banks. Whenever they get redemption, they are forced to sell software companies. So problem somewhere is coming out of flow.
Okay.
That is why for a real market rally, what we require is Fed has to cut rates. Today as we speak, are we closer to Fed cutting rates? Answer is yes, compared to 1 month back. Because after all the trouble that happened in Silicon Valley Bank and whatever is happening in the European banking system, what we feel is that the chance of a rate cut has increased in the next 1 year compared to 1 month back. Once rate cut happens, people say now we'll invest in emerging market. That can create a bull market maybe in 2024. That is why we are recommending SIPs and asset allocation, because if you keep investing in the next 1 year, the return will come in 24 or 25.
Yes, accumulation can happen in this year.
That is what we are thinking.
Sir, this pharma as a sector, it is at almost 2 years low right now. So do you see value
That
there?
is an interesting sector. But there what is happening is when we are doing work, we are finding some of the companies are having challenges. But as a sector, we like the sector most. But there the challenge what we are seeing is some of the stocks seem to have problems. Some of those stocks, they have FDA problems. And their manufacturing facilities have problems. Those kind of things we are facing. But if you are asking me, since we are contrarians, it is today one of the most contrarian sector to invest in.
Sir, in our last interaction, when I asked this question, what do you suggest to the young viewers? You said, don't create zoo. Okay, many people create zoo. So now if I ask same question, what do you suggest young viewers? There are a lot of young people who wants to construct their portfolios. So what do you suggest them?
I still say, now I'll say that you should not construct a zoo. Second is you should not do too much derivatives.
Ah, yes.
Frankly, if you ask me, one of the worries that we have, which we see in the market is, and when we see the volumes in the exchanges, there is too much volume happening in derivatives market.
Yes.
And I'm very worried, why should investors do so much of volume in derivatives market?
F&O is getting promoted as a monthly income product. So
I am very, very, very worried that investors are thinking that the derivatives market or F&O market is an easy way to make money. I was a stockbroker for 10 years in my life between 1994 and 2004. I did not see people make money in F&O market.
True.
So my request to all the investors is, unless you have done 20 years of investing, don't do F&O. Do cash market, do SIP, do asset allocation, but don't do F&O. Second, when you do cash market, you buy stocks which have been in existence for 20 years. Don't buy a new company. If you buy a new company, what we have seen is those new companies are always much more vulnerable because those companies are not clear. You would have yourself seen some of those new companies which got listed, they all crashed. Somehow new companies don't have that history of knowing how to deal with investors. Whereas all the old companies which have been in existence for a long period of time belonging to the older groups, you may not make too much money. I agree you will not become a crorepati by dealing with them. But at least you won't become zero by investing in them.
Okay.
So this is what we tell people at this point of time. Stock market is not a place where people can become rich overnight. There is a belief that stock market can make people rich overnight. If you see who are the richest people, people like Charlie Munger, who is 99 years old, and Warren Buffett, who is 92 years old. What we feel is that if people keep investing, they become richer and richer over time, and it is not something where you try to become overnight.
So last question from my end. What all books you liked or blogs you liked in last 2 to 3 years?
If I take a book, there is a book written by an Indian called Gautam Baid. He went to US and wrote a book on compounding
in the channel. Yes.
So I believe, I think he may have studied in Hyderabad also.
Joys of compounding.
Joys of compounding. I think it is a good summary of investing that you can do. Today, making money in the stock market is not about knowledge. It is about handling temperament.
Yes.
People think it is about knowledge. Was it difficult to know that in 2021, market had done too well? Answer is no. Is it difficult to know that if the market keeps going down like this for some more time, market will become attractive? Answer is yes. Market has become attractive. But somehow, people don't. That is why our belief is investing is about temperament. So if something falls continuously, like Pharma at this point of time, invest in Pharma. Pick the best companies in Pharma and invest. If for a long period of time banks are doing badly, if you had invested in the best banks, you made money.
Yes.
Yeah, but there was a time when technology companies just kept on going up. So if you had sold all the technology companies, you made good money. So somehow, what we believe is people think knowledge leads you to making too much money. At one point of time, Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger kept saying crypto is dangerous. It is like atom bomb. Don't do anything. But still people didn't listen. Yes. They lost money in crypto. So in our opinion, temperament and common sense is needed to make money. And channels like yours are enough to impart that. But the problem is people want to make money too quickly. They don't want to apply common sense. And that is the problem over anything else.
Thank you, sir. It was really a wonderful session. I'm
you.
sure my viewers will love it. They have been, most of them people who have not followed you before, after that video, they have become big fans. We get a lot of questions to bring you back in the channel. Thanks for giving us this interview.
So as long as they benefit out of what we communicate, I'm very happy. Thank you.
నా ఈ ఇంటర్వ్యూ నుంచి మనం తీసుకునే కీ టేక్ అవే పాయింట్స్ని మీకు తెలుగులో సమ్మరైజ్ చేసేస్తాను. ఫస్ట్ థింగ్, యూఎస్ మార్కెట్స్ రిలేటెడ్గా సార్ ఏమంటారంటే, ఎస్ దేర్ మైట్ బీ సర్ప్రైజెస్, నెక్స్ట్ 6 to 9 monthsలో ఏదైనా జరగచ్చు, అది నాకు తెలియదు. బట్ లాంగ్ టర్మ్లో అయితే కరెంట్ వాల్యుయేషన్స్ బట్టి నేను యూఎస్ మార్కెట్ రిలేటెడ్గా చాలా పాజిటివ్గా ఉన్నానని చెప్పారు. లాస్ట్ టైం సేమ్ యూఎస్ మార్కెట్ రిలేటెడ్గా వాల్యుయేషన్ ఎక్స్పెన్సివ్గా ఉండేసరికి అయినా యూఎస్ మార్కెట్ మీద నెగిటివ్గా ఉన్నాను, అండ్ యూఎస్ వల్లే మన ఇండియాకి రిస్క్ ఉంటుందని చెప్పారు. కరెంట్లీ ఆ కరెక్షన్ తర్వాత ఇప్పుడైతే ఆయన స్టాన్స్ అయితే చేంజ్ అయింది. నౌ ఇట్స్ ఆపర్చునిటీగా అయితే ఆయన భావిస్తున్నట్టుగా చెప్తున్నారు. అండ్ సెకండ్, గోల్డ్ రిలేటెడ్గా నేను అడిగినప్పుడు, గోల్డ్ ఎవరైనా పర్చేస్ చేయాలనుకున్నట్టయితే ఒక 10%, 5% కరెక్ట్ అయిన తర్వాత అప్పుడు బై చేసి మళ్ళీ షార్ట్ టర్మ్లో పెరిగిన తర్వాత సెల్ చేసేయగలిగితే ఫైన్, కానీ లాంగ్ టర్మ్కి వద్దు. ఒకవేళ ఎవరైనా గోల్డ్ త్రూ ప్లే చేయాలనుకున్నట్టయితే మల్టీ అసెట్ కేటగిరీ ఫండ్స్ ఏవైతే ఉంటాయి వాటి త్రూ ప్లే చేయడం బెటర్ అని చెప్పారు. థర్డ్, చాలామంది రీసెంట్ టైంలోని F&Oని ఒక మంత్లీ రెగ్యులర్ ఇన్కమ్ జాబ్ బిజినెస్కి ఆల్టర్నేటివ్గా భావిస్తున్నారు కదా. సో దాని రిలేటెడ్గా ఆయన ఏం చెప్తున్నారంటే, ఈ F&O ఏదైతే యాక్టివిటీ జరుగుతుందో ఇది డెఫినెట్లీ హజార్డియస్ టు ది ఇన్వెస్టర్స్. చాలామంది రీసెంట్ టైంలో నేను యాక్టివిటీ ఏదైతే చూస్తున్నానో F&Oలో చాలా ఎక్కువగా వాల్యూమ్ జరుగుతున్నాయి. ఇదైతే డెఫినెట్లీ సేఫ్ సైన్ కాదని చెప్పారు. ఇది వీ హ్యావ్ టు బీ కాషియస్ డెఫినెట్లీ, ఎందుకంటే రీసెంట్ టైంలో F&O రిలేటెడ్గా చాలా ప్రమోషన్ అయితే జరుగుతుంది యాజ్ ఇఫ్ ఇట్స్ ఏ సేఫ్ ప్రోడక్ట్ లాగా. బట్ ఇట్స్ వెరీ రిస్కీ ఫర్ 99% ఆఫ్ ది పీపుల్. రేర్గా 1% మాత్రమే F&O నుంచి డబ్బులు సంపాదిస్తారు. రీసెంట్గా సెబీ కూడా అదే చెప్తున్నది. అండ్ నెక్స్ట్, ఫార్మస్యూటికల్ యాజ్ ఎ సెక్టర్ రిలేటెడ్గా ఆయన ఏం చెప్తున్నారంటే, కరెంట్లీ వాల్యుయేషన్ పరంగా చూసినట్టయితే చాలా అట్రాక్టివ్గా ఉన్నది. కాకపోతే కొన్ని ఇండివిజువల్ కంపెనీస్ రిలేటెడ్గా రిస్క్స్ ఉన్నాయి. అలాంటి కంపెనీస్ని వదిలేసి, అంటే రెగ్యులేటరీ FDA రిలేటెడ్ రిస్క్స్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో అలాంటి కంపెనీస్ని వదిలేసి మిగిలిన కంపెనీస్ మీద ఫోకస్ చేయొచ్చు. అండ్ ఇది మాత్రమే కాకుండా ఇంకొక బెస్ట్ థింగ్ నాకు లెర్నింగ్ పాయింట్ ఏమనిపించిందంటే, సర్వీసెస్ రిలేటెడ్గా ఏవైతే ఇండస్ట్రీస్ ఉంటాయో వాటి మీద ఫోకస్ చేయమని చెప్పి ఆయన మాట్లాడారు. ఎస్, దట్స్ రియలీ గుడ్ పాయింట్. మనం చాలామంది మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ రిలేటెడ్గా మాట్లాడుకున్నాం. ఎస్, మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ రిలేటెడ్గా యాక్టివిటీ అయితే నడుస్తున్నది, కానీ దాని రిలేటెడ్ రియల్ గ్రోత్ మనకి టైం పట్టచ్చు. బట్ సర్వీస్ రిలేటెడ్గా ఆల్రెడీ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ ఇక్కడ ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి, సో సర్వీసెస్ ఇండస్ట్రీ మనకి ఐటీ రిలేటెడ్గా రిక్రూట్మెంట్ వర్క్ చేసే కంపెనీస్ కానీ, లేకపోతే ఐటీ రిలేటెడ్ వేరియస్ అదర్ సర్వీసెస్ ఆఫర్ చేసే కంపెనీస్ ఏవైతే ఉంటాయో వీ కెన్ ఫోకస్ ఆన్ సచ్ కంపెనీస్ అన్నమాట. సో ఓవరాల్గా ఇది ఇంటర్వ్యూ యొక్క కీ సమరీ గైస్. కరెంట్లీ చూసినట్టయితే స్టిల్ మార్కెట్లోని రిస్క్ అయితే ఉన్నది, బట్ రిస్క్ ఉన్నా కూడా డెఫినెట్లీ ఇలాంటి వాలటైల్ కండిషన్స్లో అండ్ ఎప్పుడైతే మార్కెట్లో ఫియర్ క్రియేట్ అవుతుందో అలాంటప్పుడు ఎవరైతే స్టాగర్డ్ మేనర్లో ఇన్వెస్ట్ చేసుకోగలుగుతారో దే విల్ మేక్ డెఫినెట్లీ లాంగ్ టర్మ్లో గుడ్ మనీ. సో దట్స్ ఆల్ ఫర్ దిస్ వీడియో గైస్. ఈ వీడియోని ఇప్పటివరకు లైక్ చేయనట్టయితే లైక్ చేయండి, మీ ఫ్రెండ్స్ అండ్ ఫ్యామిలీ మెంబర్స్ షేర్ చేయండి. అండ్ ఛానల్కి ఇదే ఫస్ట్ టైం వస్తే ఛానల్ తప్పకుండా సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి. అండ్ అలాగే ఇలాంటి ఎక్స్పర్ట్ సిరీస్ ఇంటర్వ్యూస్ ఆల్రెడీ ఛానల్లో చేసాం, ఇక్కడ ప్లేలిస్ట్లో మీకు దొరుకుతాయి, చూడనట్టయితే డూ చెక్ ఇట్ అవుట్. నేను సాయి కృష్ణ పత్రి మరొక ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ వీడియోతో మేము ముందుకు వస్తాను. టిల్ దెన్ బై బై, టేక్ కేర్.